when we launched Back Market 8 years ago, the only way you could find those devices were on neutral, border crappy interfaces of Amazon and eBay, or on quite scary territories like the peer-to-peer marketplaces like Craigslist, stuff like that. The very simple act of trying to think of an interfaces that are clean and functional and put refurbished devices instead of new ones in the middle of those interfaces was maybe quite simple, but extremely radical actually at the time. And trying to translate this same level of craft in our communication assets, in our emailing strategy, and so on plays the same role. But I would add to that, like on top of sex appeal, I think that there is something quite natural also that comes from the fact of, to be the David of the story and the kind of challenging the big brands, is that a lot of things that you say to the users are kind of defined in counterpoint of how Apple would talk. So from Apple and from the Apple of those worlds, like we try to steal the sex appeal, but everything else we did it like in our own way. And in a way, because Apple was so focused only on the machines, naturally you kind of want to connect with the users, like more like from a humans to humans perspective, because those brands are, they are not the funniest brand on earth. Naturally, you kind of want to bring a little bit of like salt and humor in the conversation, because those brands are so desperate to sell you the latest device and make you think like, they make a huge drama, like literally like big masses, like for every product launch. You can be the brand that says like, you know what, like at the end of the day, it's just an iPhone. There is a little bit of nonchalance towards the device. I'm not desperate to sell something. Actually, I'm not desperate to sell you like the latest one. If you want to consider like the 2 years older one, my average order value is going to decrease, but at the end of the day, I don't give much of a fuck. And I think a lot of our personality simply came out of the fact of being a counterpoint from the established personality of the brands out there. And there's this brand that did it quite well, obviously, like Innocent, I think, like trying to bring simply a vibe that was non-existent in a very standardized market, very boring one. I think we've been blessed, but simply with the ability to be the only one challenger. Like it was supernatural to bring this vibe, and notably through the editorial strategy, like the UX copy and so on. And users love that simply because you're breaking the routine that they have with those boring manufacturers or distributors, right? So it's very cheap. Like it doesn't cost you anything to use a word versus another one, but the effect you have in consumers' hearts is actually massive.